12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, how's it going? It's me, Astro, here once again off of another shorter hiatus with the AstroCast number 3. Hope everyone is having a good day. I am sorry I was a little tardy to the party. I'm making some changes kind of backstage, working on some stuff to make the stream a little more professional, I guess. For lack of a better word. I see Kathy was saying she would be here, and here she is. Good to see you here, Kathy. Thanks for swinging by. Let me just make sure my audio is good, and we will get rolling. Let's see here real quick. And we are good. Yeah, I'm tardy to the party. Sorry about that. So yeah, I was just kind of going through things the past couple weeks. So first, work was being work, so I was busy. So that's part of the reason why you guys haven't seen me do content. You did see that I did Gotham Knights playthrough yesterday. You guys showed up for that. I really appreciate that. Not a very fun game, I'm just gonna be honest, but we'll get through it. We'll watch it. I was just kind of going through how I did things at one point in time with a different show, how I'm wanting to change the way I do things, and what I'm wanting to do with this show. You'll see I'm kind of just working my way through it, trying to figure out what I'm doing here. And I can already tell you I'm already messing up because I forgot I gotta tweet this out. I gotta let people know, hey, I'm live. So give me just 1 second. I'm a super professional here. I've totally done this before. Oh God. All right. Let me see. Yeah, we'll post it. Boom. Send it out. Cool. There we go. Audio is a thumbs up. All right. We're already half the battle right there. Shit. Halen, what's up, chat? What's up, Astro? Nice to take a break from the MLB winter meetings. MLB? Are we talking about Major League Baseball? Is that what we're talking about? Or is that another MLB that I'm not privy to? Don't know. It'd be kind of cool if it was Major League Baseball, because that actually ties into a topic we'll go over today. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of go back to basics in some regards, fine tune how I do certain things on this show. So yeah, just bear with me. I'm working through this show, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. Major League Baseball. Awesome. We're gonna put a pin in that. Because that'll be a topic for later on. So I'm gonna do basically what we're gonna end up doing with this show moving forward is it's gonna be formatted. And the format's not gonna be super strict, but it's gonna adhere to at least some sort of a model of what we look at when doing this show. So we'll start with a clip of the day. Idealistically, normally this will be like a little funny, a little teehee, little icebreaker. But actually, I found this clip earlier today, and I really wanted to take some time to talk about it because I thought it was such a an interesting clip. You guys have probably seen it floating around the internet, but let me go ahead and I gotta set some things up. So we're gonna put that there. And then actually what we'll do is we'll do that. Yeah. Boom. It's gonna take some time. But yeah. We'll screen share. Also share tab audio. Yep. And this, let me know if this works for you guys. Before I get started, this is a clip from a content creator. It's the Comic Book Palace. Yep, that's the name of the channel. He's done some episodes for a while now. He's on episode 42. Basically, from what I understand, this is just a comic shop in Massachusetts, and the guy just decided to make YouTube videos on it. And I haven't seen a lot, but this was one that caught my eye, and yeah, this was a very interesting clip that kind of blew up. But I actually sat and watched this entire episode, and it's a fun show to watch, or whatever you want to call it. It's a podcast. It's a day in the life. I can't really nail down what it is, but basically it's just about him talking about just a day in the shop. I mean, it's not like he's like narrating it per se. It's just more of like a candid video of his shop, like day-to-day operations, and it's just really nice to watch. It's kind of a vibe, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm gonna play this clip. Please let me know if you guys can hear it. I'll even check on my end to make sure we're good.
Well. Very, very good book.
Okay, I just tested it. I think we're good. Okay, so yeah, this is the clip. Like I said, I love this clip. This is floating around, so we'll watch it.
Now they just make idiotic characters most of the time. They finally got somebody good, and then they stop using them. I don't know why. Change of the guard, maybe, or change. Well, then again, there's probably different change of writers where people don't. The writers nowadays, they don't care about the characters of what the character is anymore. Most of these new writers don't have the love of comics like these older writers had, and all they care about is, how can I put myself in the book? No, we don't care what you would do if you were Iron Man. We don't care who you are. You're writing Tony Stark. You're not writing yourself in a book. If that's the case, write your own comic with you in it. No one will read it because nobody cares. People grew up, are growing up loving Peter Parker, loving Miles Morales, loving all these Captain America. We don't need you to put your input in it. Just write Steve Rogers. Don't write Steve Rogers. What would Steve Rogers be if I was Steve Rogers? That's not how it works. But that's again how most of these new people write nowadays. That's why most of the stuff is shit. Because we don't care what you would do, because we don't care about your life whatsoever. Just write a book, get paid for what you do, get paid for what you're supposed to be doing, and make it a good story.
Preach. Preach, my dude. Damn. I love this clip. This clip kind of popped up on my feed, and like I said, I watched the whole video, and homie makes sense. He makes a lot of sense. And I mean, obviously the internet being the internet, he caught some flack for it, although what the fuck did he say that was wrong? I mean, this is all I see when I see a lot of these comics that they're coming out with nowadays. It's not, what story do I want to tell for this character? It's, how can I put myself in that character's shoes, or something to that effect. No one cares. We do not care about your spin, just tell a story, tell a good story, and people will stick around for that. So that clip's made the rounds. I got kind of a little starstruck with this video because it popped up. I don't remember where I first saw it. It was someone on my feed on X, and I said, who is this man? I want to know who it is, because I wanted to see what his YouTube channel was about. I wanted to see where he was located, because I was willing to like make a trip to go see him, but like Massachusetts kind of a ways, so I don't know. I wish I could. I wish it was like a few hours away. I'd definitely make the trip, but I mean, Massachusetts is a haul for me. And Jim Mint Collectibles was actually the one that responded. I was like, yo, like, damn. I started recently watching Jim Mint Collectibles. That dude's awesome. So that was kind of cool. He responded to my simple question. And then like it blew up even further that Mark Millar actually wanted this guy's contact information as well. Because he wanted to reach out to him, and I guess he did successfully reach out to him. I don't know what it was in regards to, or what was said, but Mark Millar was at least interested enough to get in touch with him, which I thought was fucking sick. So yeah, like this was such a nice video, and like people are being assholes, like as the internet is, because they're saying this and that about what he said, and then people were actually like making fun of the way he looked and like whatever, but that dude's living the dream right there, man. Like he owns a comic book shop, he's kicking it, he's on YouTube, he's got a pretty good presence on YouTube. He's got like 4.3k subs, so please let me go ahead and do this again. Please, no, not that. There we go. Jeez. Please go give him a sub. Go check him out. His videos are they're nice. Like you just kick back, enjoy a day at the shop. Yeah, it's Comic Book Palace, the Comic Book Palace. So go show him some love. Yeah, dude like hit the nail on the head with that. So that was going to be my clip for today. So yeah, that's basically from here on out. Whenever I do these videos, I'm going to start with a clip of the day. So, speaking of other content creators, I actually did do something kind of fun, and I wish I actually set up this clip beforehand, but I was kind of in a rush. But I got in contact with Az from Heel versus Babyface. Not by like just sliding in his DMs. I'm not that cool yet. I did a cameo for him, or I asked him to do a cameo for me. And basically I asked the guy, I was like, I've collected a lot of Batman comics. I mean, a lot of Batman comics. And I argue I have pretty much all the pivotal story arcs. I've kind of hit all the high notes. I was like, what do you recommend? That's something that's a little more off the beaten path, something that's not quite as popular, that I could check out. And he responded. He responded very quickly. Unfortunately, I didn't get in touch with him yet. I need to do that. And he gave me a couple recommendations, and we're gonna bring back Comic Book Club. I know you guys have really missed that. And we're gonna take a look at the comic that Az recommended to me. So we'll do that here. But Phil said the brother owns a comic shop and has customers that are keeping it real. That's awesome. Yeah, dude's just vibing. Like it's so cool. I love that guy. So as recommended to me, Batman the Cult. This is a comic by Jim Starlin. If that name doesn't ring a bell, there is a story arc that he did do for Marvel that might ring a bell. You may have heard of something called the Infinity Gauntlet Saga. He kind of, wrote that. So guy's pretty prominent. And so he did a Batman story, and it was a very short story. It was 4 comics, short run. And this is a more obscure comic run that I don't really hear talked about, but I do hear about characters mentioned in this, in like some of the Arkham games and stuff. So like, it was kind of interesting. I knew of these characters, but I never really got like where they came from. They actually started from this comic book. And it's interesting because Az told me, he said, a lot of people I talk to say this is boring, but I personally like it. And that was his quote. And like, Az knows Batman. That's one thing I respect about him. Dude knows his Batman stuff, and that's why I reached out to him in the first place. And I said, you know what? Yeah, I'll give it a shot. You know, I trust him. I'll be like, I'll try it. And granted, this is not my favorite Batman story of all time, but it's definitely not what I would classify as boring. It is different though. If you want a Batman that beats up criminals and does Batman things like driving around the Batmobile and things like that, like this is not so much that. This dips more into the psychological analysis of Batman and Gotham at large. And it kind of does that angle, which normally I don't like that. I don't need a deep dive on why Batman needed to be hugged more as a child. Like it doesn't fascinate me. It's not what I go out of my way for when I'm reading Batman comics. So, you know, this could have easily been something that I wasn't interested in, but it was something pretty good. And I don't want to spoil too much of it because I actually do want you guys to check it out. But I will say this, it's tough to track down. So because it's not such a popular run, like this is the only printing of this in graphic novel form, is this version, paperback, this cover, like that's it. They really just did one printing. And then you can get the floppies for it, which I would say that that's a little bit more affordable, and a little easier to find. But I just like having the graphic novels. But that's going to be like around upwards of $30 to $60, so it's pricey for just a little one. But I'll give you the rundown without spoiling too much. So basically, Batman gets apprehended by a cult that is residing in the sewer system under Gotham City. It is operated with two figureheads, one of them being by the name of Deacon Blackfire. And his whole thing is he wanted to cleanse Gotham of all the crime that riddles the city in order to ascend to a position of political power. And he's doing so by breaking Batman's one rule, by killing people. And so basically Batman is kidnapped and has to witness them inflicting their form of justice on Gotham and the way Gotham is responding. And he's just kind of, you know, merciless to it. Like, or there's nothing he can do, you know? And so it really kind of gives you a moment to think about, like, is what Batman does, like his method of handling crime, is it really efficient? Is it effective? And this is something that a lot of fans will talk about from time to time. And, you know, we'll make jokes about it. It's like he'll beat the snot out of criminals and sling them in the Arkham, and then they'll break out and do it again. And, you know, the cycle continues. It's like if you just put a bullet in their head, it fixes the problem. And so basically Deacon Blackfire goes that route. And you see how Gotham reacts to that sort of justice, and how Batman kind of looks introspectively into the way he does things, because he sees the way Gotham is responding. So without giving away too much, that's kind of what it's about. And it's really fascinating. I recommend it. It was a lot of fun. As also recommended Batman numbers 300 through 500, which I've been collecting and has been a colossal pain in the ass to get all those singles, especially since some of them are so expensive. But I will get there at some point, and when I do, I'll do a whole video whenever I have 300 through 500 of Batman comics. Yeah. I'm back. I got a phone call from one of my friends. Oh, okay. We were just talking about Comic Book Club. As from Heel versus Babyface gave me a recommendation. We watched the video from the Comic Book Palace, talking about why comic books are so lackluster nowadays. It's kind of a video that went viral. I recommend subbing to his channel and watching the full video because like dude's super cool. I definitely like to meet him at some point, and he already gained like what 20 plus subscribers in the time that I showed you the video, and I just kind of refreshed it. So that's crazy. Dude's blowing up. That's great. So yeah, that's it for Comic Book Club this week. Batman the Cult by Jim Starlin. Go check that out if that story sounds interesting to you. So you should have Az on to talk. I'm not cool enough to have Az on here. Hey, you know what? Fuck it. I'll shoot him a DM at some point and I'll ask him like, hey, you want to just like talk about Batman for 2 hours? I'm sure he'd love it. I'm sure it'd be great. I'd love to talk to him, like, because one thing that really impressed me about Az, and this is when I knew that I needed to at least get in touch with this guy and just talk Batman with him, was, I think every nerd kind of goes through this. When you're really passionate about something and you're really knowledgeable about something, you want to flex a little bit. You'd be like, yeah, I got it like that. Yeah, I know this, I know that. I knew that Detective Comics 27 back in 1939 is the first appearance of Batman, and the first appearance of Joker was in Batman #1 back in 1940. The spring issue, if you want to get technical, Batman Year 1. Part 1 was Batman number 404. Like you just like flex about shit like that. And then, someone will come along and they'll just like do the not so subtle flex, or they'll just spout out some knowledge, not even trying to flex, and be like, damn, I ain't got it like that. And so for me, it was when Az was doing a BBC, which for them it's Bags, Board, and Chat, and they just kind of go through comics and then bag and board them. And maybe I need to do that. Would you guys be interested if I did that? Because I honestly, no shit, like last week was just sitting there with a buddy of mine and we were just bagging and boarding comics because I have so fucking many comics. So if you guys are interested in just watching me bag and board things, I mean, let me know. I'll definitely do that on here. I love doing that shit. But anyway, yeah, he was doing a BBC and he saw the cover of a comic and was able to like get the issue number by looking at it. And I was like, fuck, this dude knows his shit. And so like from that moment on, I'm like, I gotta talk to this guy. I gotta like see, like I want to get some of that knowledge, because like I'm always wanting to improve my Batman knowledge. I'm very prideful of it, and I know there's a lot more I can learn because Batman's pushing 100 years old at this point, so yeah, that's definitely something that I'd love to do. Astro versus Az for the Batman heavyweight. Dude, I would fucking lose. I would lose big time. Like I said, homie can look at a cover and tell me what issue it is. I ain't there yet. Like I'm still learning shit. And part of that is when I got started on it, I got started on so it's kind of weird. I was a 90s kid. And so that's why like I'm such a big fan of Power Rangers and stuff like that. And around the same time of the 90s came, we were coming off the heels of Burton's Batman. We were getting into Schumacher Batman. I don't want to talk about it. And we also had Batman the Animated Series. So I really enjoyed those things as a kid. Like those were a big part of my childhood for sure. But for some reason, I kind of just went off somewhere else. I think part of it is when I started really getting into Batman was around the time that the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies came around. And so I just kind of gravitated a little bit more toward Spider-Man. Also a whole aspect of Peter Parker being this dorky kid that got made fun of a lot in school kind of helped me get through school, because I was that dorky kid that got made fun of a lot. As opposed to a billionaire who beats the snot out of people late at night dressed like a bat. You know, I relate more to the nerdy kid, you know? So maybe that's why it happened for me. I was exposed to it and I liked it, but I didn't really latch on to it as much as I did Spider-Man. And when the early 2000s rolled around, I started kind of slowly, well actually no, it wasn't the early 2000s, it was like early 2010s. I started gravitating back toward Batman. And I don't really know why, other than The Dark Knight just came out and I really liked that because it was something different, especially with Marvel movies going the route that they were going. It was kind of something a little different. It was a little darker, you know, had a little more edge. And we had the Arkham games that were coming out. So those two together was like a 1-2 punch for me. And I was like, I gotta get into this Batman stuff. I gotta figure out everything. And what really got me on the track of comics was specifically Batman Arkham City, because it was littered with Easter eggs and all of them were referenced to comics. I'm like, what are these comics? Like, I want to read them. And so like it sent me on this quest that has lasted me well over a decade of getting every Batman comic and reading it. So realistically, I have, give or take, about 10-15 years worth of Batman knowledge as far as like putting my brain to just everything Batman. As has been a Batman fan since like 89. I have no hope in hell of getting to where I am a bigger Batman fan than Az. So as much as I would love to like have a 1v1 on Batman knowledge with Az, I would lose. Like, no doubt. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll shoot him a message and just be like, hey, you want to talk about Batman for a bit? That'd be fun, you know? I don't know. We'll see. Am I frozen? Let me check and see if I'm frozen. Hold on just a second. Oh, I was muted. No, Kathy, I think that's your phone. Sorry. I think your phone is frozen. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But that is today's comic book club recommendation from Az Batman the Cult. So check that out. All right. So we're going to dive into something a little bit new. We're going to go check out the numbers. I'd say I have a panel with him on. Oh, dude, that'd be great. I'd have a blast with that. Like, I really would. Oh, all right. So, I did this wrong. I'm learning things. There we go. So we're doing a new segment, and this kind of goes into something that the Fell mentioned earlier. He mentioned something about Major League Baseball. So I kind of came to a let me full screen this for a second. It's gonna talk to you guys for a second. So I realized something relatively recently. Hold on, do I have any water? I need water. I have vodka. Vodka's not water. Give me 1 second, guys. So sorry about that. Super unprofessional. I normally have like a thing of water with me. I didn't have it today. So yeah. The Fell mentioned Major League Baseball at the beginning of this stream. And let's see. Hang on a second. We have some breaking news from the Baltimore Orioles. Okay, so here's what I'll say, Fell. So I'm really into nerdy shit, as been made abundantly clear. But I'm also really into sports. It's not something I talk about a lot, and I think the reason why is because people that are into sports can kind of be intimidating. Here's what I mean. There's a lot to sports. There's a lot of history. There's a lot of statistics. There's just a lot to it, right? And you don't want to flex out too hard, because then like someone will check you on it and then they'll say you're not a fan, and it's just weird. But I'm a fan. I have sports teams I'm a big fan of. You know, I'm even wearing, you know, Carolina Hurricanes. It's my hockey team. But like I'm hesitant to even say that because, you know, I'll get quizzed, like, you know, who's your favorite player from like I don't know, like what, I don't even remember when we won the Stanley Cup. What was it, 2008, roughly? Like, see, this is where I don't talk about it much because I can't remember. I only have so much room in my brain, and it's loaded with Batman knowledge, and I have no room for sports ball knowledge. So I don't talk about it much. But I am a big fan of sports. My teams are all Carolina teams because I'm here, you know. So my favorite NFL team, and I know everyone is gonna laugh at me when I say this. My favorite NFL team is the Carolina Panthers. Yeah. Go ahead and weep for me. It's fine. I know. We're absolutely garbage. But this kind of brings up a topic I really wanted to talk about with this show and the way we operate and just kind of the way things go. And this was something I was going to do as a later on discussion, but I think now is a good time to sort of talk about it. The one thing I've noticed this season in particular when it comes to Carolina Panthers knowledge is, or not knowledge, but the way they report things, the way the Carolina Panthers fans have been reporting things is they've been very, very negative about the way things are going, and rightfully so. But they don't get flack for it. Does that make sense? And it's not that they're not fans. They're absolutely fans, but they've been reporting things very negatively because things are fucking negative. Like, it just is. So I just kind of wanted to talk about that for a bit. Do I live in Michigan? Lions fan here. Okay. Y'all handed our asses to us early this season. So y'all got Teddy Bridgewater, which anyway. So I just found it interesting that the way that our corner of the internet and the way the way that we report things, the way things are discussed over here is so different than like any other form of fandom podcast or anything like that. We operate so differently, and I don't necessarily mean that in a good way. I actually mean that kind of in a bad way, because this entire season of the NFL has, when it comes to Carolina Panthers fans reporting on it, it's just been so grim, so depressing. There is no good thing to really bring out of this season, I was going to say other than, but I can't think of an other than. And sure, people get like a little flustered with it and they express their frustrations. But it's done with a tone of, you guys suck. I love you, but you suck. Right? But when I look at the way we talk about things like the comic book industry and with pop culture and things like that, it is so like just angry left and right, just all over the place. Everyone's just so fucking mad. And they're not like sitting down and just talking about, this is where we're at with numbers and statistics. And yes, there are people that do that. I'm not saying that there are not people that do that, but I just find far more frequently when it comes to pop culture podcasts and discussion and things like that, is so just angry, just everyone's screaming at each other. You go to sports, it's like everyone gets heated, you know, like they got their team and they got, their player, you know, but generally everyone's like, it is what it is. These are the facts. Panthers are the absolute worst team in the NFL this season. They are 1-11. They fired their head coach 11 weeks into the season. Bryce Young is a brand new quarterback that has no one to help him. You see what I mean? All really negative things, but almost completely indisputable facts that are mentioned, you know? And you could have that discussion as a fan, to fans, or just in general, and everyone is very cordial and maybe get a little heated here and there, but generally it's like, it is what it is. If I say the Marvels is an absolute disaster of a film with the lowest performance of any MCU film in history, that catered to no one and had a plot that resolved to nothing, everyone starts screeching. So I kind of just want to do a little bit of a different take on pop culture news reporting. I said this earlier. I don't want to be a outrage channel, but I also don't want to report on when things are not going well, because these in general are things that I am passionate about, that I care about, that I want to report on. I don't want to not report on it, but I also don't want to feed into my anger. So I think ultimately I'm just going to take a page out of some of these sports podcasters' playbook and just be like, you know what? I'm just going to stick to what I know. I'm going to stick to the facts. I'm going to try to get not super emotional about it. I will get emotional. It's going to happen because I care about it. It's the stuff I love. But generally, I'm just going to be like, this is what it is. You know? So that's just kind of some self-reflection I've kind of done in recent times. So I live in Connecticut. Of course, we have no football teams, not really into sports. That's fine. That's fine. Everyone's got their thing, you know? I just wanted to say that, like, generally the way that sports kind of does their reporting and the way that pop culture does theirs, it just seems so different. And I understand it's completely different worlds, but I think that at this point, at this juncture, we have so much information on it that, like, we could talk about it very similarly without screeching at each other. So it's just one thing I was just kind of thinking about. You will always have NJ. Yeah. Mike's the GOAT. I'm going to go. Michael Jordan's the greatest basketball player of all time. I don't want to hear this LeBron mess. 6 rings, bro. 2 3-peats. Hell, LeBron's number is an homage to Mike. So I don't want to hear this, LeBron's the GOAT. Or even the one that I makes no sense to me. He's the GOAT of this era. No, that's not what GOAT means. GOAT means greatest of all time. Ever. So, yeah. Love Michael Jordan. This year I'm painting things. Oh, nice. Nice. So, yeah. That's just kind of the way I wanted to do things. And I preface the next part of this show with that little rant because we're going to do, from this point forward, we're going to dive into the numbers. because it needs to be reported. I haven't reported on this up until now, but I have been looking into the numbers. And the Marvels, from what I understand, is about to end its theatrical release. It is the worst performing Marvel movie in the MCU. One thing that really does not help the situation that they're in with this film is $197 million internationally, generally, or at least back in the day, was not bad, right? It wasn't a bad turnout. And when you got something, I'll show you this. When you got something like Five Nights at Freddy's, which has $300 million, which, in case you guys are good at quick math, you'll realize that this has already made more money than the Marvels. That should already be a punch in the nuts in that regard. But then you take into account the budget. The budget for this film was $25 million. Go ahead and make sure I can get that information. Oh, sorry. It's $20 million. So it made its money more than tenfold. A $20 million budget. Now, $274.8 million. Now, I've heard some people say it's as high as $3 million. But it seems like the current number that they're sitting around is 274. So yeah, this thing right here, comingsoon.net, the budget, how much it will cost to make, or how much money did it cost to make? General calculations see the studio receiving half the film's box office take, meaning that the Marvels will break even at $439.6 million. My calculations could be different, but from what I understood, it was closer to $600 million is what it needed to make to break even, and it is currently sitting at 197, and they're about to end their theatrical run. This will lose a tremendous amount of money. I saw this movie in theaters, by the way. I know. Astro, you said you were done with Marvel movies. What are you doing? Well, my buddies said, hey, I'll watch it if you watch it. And that's kind of just where we went with it. We just shared in our misery. I didn't go in sober, though. I had half a bottle of wine, 2 shots of whiskey, and said, all right, let's do it, right? I was sober in like 10 minutes, but, you know, I tried to make the most of it. I'm not even going to be mad at it. My review of it, and I think I posted this on Twitter at some point. It is a movie that wastes your time. It is a movie that says and does nothing. There is no plot. I can't even say the plot doesn't make sense because there's none. There is no story to tell. In fact, there is a subplot to this film that has an even more interesting idea that they just don't explore. This movie sucked. And that's without me mentioning any of the political stuff. So, like, I don't want to hear Nia DaCosta say, you know, I'm a this or a that because I didn't like your crappy movie. Your movie sucked. And if you don't believe me, just look at the numbers. Hell, this is the crazy part. Do you see this right here? See this little funnel? This is the projection. This is a forecast. You know, like whenever there's a hurricane about to hit, they do like the funnel. Like it could hit anywhere in this area. This is what they were saying that they predicted that the Marvels would get. And after the first week, no, first 4 days, they grossly overestimated it. It fell off a cliff. Even on the low end of their estimations, they were wrong. It was lower. This movie is a failure by every conceivable metric. And with that, and part of the reason I watched it is confirmation that I'm done. I can't watch these movies anymore. They are unwatchable sludge. So I'm just going to read comics from here on out. I'll be checking out DC's stuff because I have at least a glimmer of hope with that, especially since they at least can cast accurately. Because they've announced the cast of Superman Legacy, and they actually look the part. So that's good. So we'll go from there. What's even crazy is Godzilla had a budget of $15 million. I don't know if it's beating the Marvels, though. No. So it's not beating the Marvels. You could argue it's outperforming it. It will beat the Marvels. Maybe. And the only reason I say maybe is because, one, I heard that the theatrical run is about to be over soon. I've also heard rumors that they are going to extend it. I don't know. Word of mouth does wonders for a film, but at the same time, if it is a monster film, I don't see mass appeal for it. But I could be wrong. I think it's going to be one of those oddities. I think that there is a section of the audience, mostly us, that are so depraved of entertainment that we will latch onto this. And not to say that it's bad and it's the least bad thing. But what I'm saying is we will take a chance and watch this sort of thing because we're just so depraved of entertainment. Whereas your more normie audience may not appeal to them. You know, they may just be like, oh, it's a monster movie. I don't really care to watch monster movies. I'd rather watch Jason Momoa be shirtless for an hour and a half, or something. I don't know. So we'll see. I mean, the good news is with it having such a small budget, it's already made its money back. That's the key to success. I think that's the one big problem that Disney as a whole is having, is they are loading all of their movies with stupid amounts of money in the budget that is just completely unnecessary. When you can have a film that looks visually just as good for a 20th of the cost, something's not right. And that's the thing, is a lot of people are like, oh, a lot of money goes into visual effects. I saw the visual effects that are in Godzilla -1. They look just fine. I didn't see any issues. $50 million. So we'll see. I wish nothing but success for it, but I don't know if it'll make 200 mil. It'd be cool if it did, but I don't know if it will. What else do we have? We have the Hunger Games prequel. Wow. That's actually doing a lot better than I thought it would. It's doing about what it was expected to make. Actually, I think they lowballed it too. So that's the number one film right now. So The Hunger Games. Number 2 is Godzilla -1. Number 3 is Napoleon. I've heard mixed things about this film. It's Joaquin Phoenix as Napoleon Bonaparte. But yeah, actually, I've not heard anything good, bad, or otherwise. What's this film? Animal. I've not even heard of this film. What is this? Summary. What studio made this? Oh, it's a Bollywood film. That's why. I thought it was. I thought it was a Bollywood film. All right. And then you've got Wish. Now, I have heard about this movie, and I'm not going to watch it. But it's like they loaded the thing with member berries in a blender and just hit go. And no one likes it. And I actually had something to say about this movie. At least a question was posed to me on Twitter, and I responded to it. And I kind of just wanted to share my response. It was like, I thought I said some good points. You guys let me know if I'm way off or if I'm onto something. So let me get to it here. Actually, why am I doing it on my phone? I can do it on the computer. No, not that. No, not log out. Home. How do I get? There we go. I'm struggling. And I'll get to it eventually. There it is. Okay. So the question posed was I'll go ahead and do this for now. The question posed was, so what do we want from Disney? Every single movie seems to be struggling at the box office, even if it's in high quality. So is it because of the Disney Plus? Is it because of Disney Plus, or does the right-wing political aisle just hate Disney now? Okay, so I didn't put this in my response. I didn't respond to the right-wing political aisle jab. But I will go ahead and say this before I get into my actual response. Disney took a stand in and out of their films. So those that have values that do not align with what Disney is openly standing for, they have every right to avoid this film, whether you like that or not, whether you think they're right or not. It is what it is. They made their line in the sand. We'll make ours. I don't see what's wrong with that. Like I could make the same argument for why do Daily Wire films not make the same numbers as Disney films? Is it because left-wing political aisle just hates Daily Wire? Yeah, probably. Like, yeah, more than likely that's their audience. And then so that statement to me really didn't make a lot of sense. But anyway, my response to it was, okay, this is a great question, one that has a multi-layered answer. I would say the number one thing Disney needs to do desperately is to stop looking at films and shows as products or content and revert back to why they became so pivotal to our culture. They are art and should be seen as such. Once that reframing begins, a lot of other things will follow suit. There would be more effort, thought, and care brought back to these movies, provided they hire passionate, creative people. It will also allow another thing to be reintroduced into Disney that has been largely absent: heart. If the artist pours their heart into their work, often it will shine through and have something valuable to say. The next thing may be difficult for Disney to do as a company, but stop playing it safe. No more member berries, self-referential nods, or self-inserts. They just feel soulless and stale. Another thing that may help in the grand scheme is to budget. FNAF was not a great film, in my opinion. Being someone that is not familiar with FNAF, I just wasn't too impressed. However, with a small budget, it made its money back almost tenfold. It is a success in that regard. It is a success in that regard. With bloated $300 million plus budgets that are losing money, Disney will only play it safer and safer rather than take the risks that got them to their prominence. So in short, get a small group of passionate people, be bold, be creative, have something valuable to put out in the world with heart that speaks to everyone rather than part of your audience. That was my response. I think that was fair. I don't want to pat myself on the back too much. I think that was fair. I think the international box office will carry Godzilla. Yeah, it will. Ronan, what's up, man? How you doing? So yeah, you see Wish's numbers, and it's not very good. I don't even know what the budget for this one is. $200 million. Again, we cracked 200 mil. And it's not going to make that money back. You got to stop with these high budget, low effort, soulless, corporate, group tested products. You're never going to make money again unless you take some chances, take a risk. Do something that isn't part of an established IP based on a true story, a sequel, a prequel, a reboot, based on a book. Get some people that just want to do creative shit. Give them like, I don't know, $20 million to work with. That's your budget. But I need, no. You have $20 million. Make me a film. Let them take their time on it a bit, you know? Make something happen. How is it that some goober in his desk in his house knows better on what a multi-billion-dollar company needs, and yet all these higher up execs that you will hire for the job of predicting this sort of shit can't fucking tell you? I don't get it. Doesn't make any sense. Whatever, man. It is what it is. We're going to wrap up the top 10 Trolls band together. Apparently, a lot of people like Trolls, but it doesn't look like it's doing that well. The Shift. I don't know anything about this film. This is done by Angel Studios. Yeah. Aren't they the one that did that Sound of Freedom that everyone liked so much? I still haven't seen it. Silent Night. Oh, is it almost like Violent Night? Is it like a Christmas movie, but like super brutal? Tormented father witnesses his young son die when caught in a gang's crossfire on Christmas Eve. While recovering from a wound that cost him his voice, the man okay, so you can't talk. Okay, that's interesting. Huh. Saltburn. What is this? Is this the one that I think there was one that it was Zelda Zelda Williams. Zelda Williams directed a film. Was it this one or was it something else? Let me open image in new tab. Oh God. From Academy Award. Okay, no, it's not that. All right, well, I don't know anything about this. Struggling to find his place in Oxford University, student Oliver Quick finds himself drawn into the world of charming, aristocratic, blah, blah, blah. Invites him to Saltburn, his eccentric family's sprawling estate for a summer never to be found. Sounds super boring, honestly. And Thanksgiving, which is a movie that apparently a lot of people were looking forward to because it had been in production forever. It's not doing that well in the box office, though, to be honest. Not that good. Box office ain't looking so hot. It just isn't. Not a lot of people are getting to the theater. So if we have the total budget of Disney, Marvel, Lucasfilm, that they made movies, just the movies this year, it's approximately $3 to $4 billion combined. Fuck! Damn. Damn. And they definitely didn't make that money back. They definitely didn't make that money back. These numbers do not include any movies that are off-brand Disney Studios. Yeah, one of these days I need to actually sit down and crunch those numbers because that's crazy. It's insane. Tom, how's it going, man? Yes, I did see the GTA 6 trailer. I will probably check it out when it comes out in 2025. Although I don't know why everyone's so butthurt about that. Like, it's been how many years now? What's another 2 years? I don't get why everyone's so mad about the release date. I also don't really get why everyone's so mad about the character you play as. That's kind of an interesting thing. So allow me to reframe. I get the reaction. I get why. I don't believe it's warranted. Here's what I mean. A lot of movies, shows, and everything has been pushing the strong female lead in damn near everything to the point that it's a meme. Hell, South Park did a special about it. It's that bad. It is that noticeable. So I understand when the response is, oh, look, it's another strong female lead. Oh God, here we go again, right? But then people are like immediately going to, it's woke. It's like, you don't know. Generally, the way GTA operates is it makes fun of everybody, very similar to South Park. And sure, you could say some people get it a little more than others, and it could have a lean one way or the other. But generally, what I've seen, like one thing I did in GTA 5 is I'd keep it on the talk radio, which I know is kind of weird. You want to listen to music, right? I listen to the talk radio because there's so many funny conversations that happen on their show, and it's a parody of our world, and whether that's right leaning, left leaning, whatever, generally it'll make fun of everything. So I get that people largely are conditioned to strong female lead. Oh God, here we go again. But I'd say chill out on this one just a bit. Let's wait and see. This is one I would say wait and see. Normally, I don't say that. Normally, like, yeah, it's probably, it is what it is. But I'd say wait on this one. This thing's been slow roasting for a while. So I'd say let's give it a shot. I'm gonna check it out for sure. So I'm doing well. I'm doing well now. I have free time now, so I'm doing okay now. Driving but listening, Big Brother style. All right. Sounds good, man. Sounds good. The only reason it's only failed in the past is because bad writing. There's tons of female leads in films that are good. Yeah. I definitely agree. It's not like the concept of a female lead is a new concept. Yeah, I think the large part is it's the bad writing for sure. But when you couple the bad writing with always sticking a female lead at it, it kind of gets annoying after a while. So, like I said, it goes back to that South Park special. It's the trend. I'm excited to have Lucia and Jason as characters since it's a Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I was getting too, is a Bonnie and Clyde or like a brother sister sort of thing. I don't know what their relationship is, but I got that sort of vibe too. I think it'll be fun. I mean, it was a fun dynamic with like Franklin, Michael, and Trevor. I love Trevor because he's such a fucking wild card. I love that guy. But yeah, I think it'll be all right. Also, it's Rockstar. It'll be good based on Red Dead. Honestly, I wasn't a fan of Red Dead, but that's not like anything against Red Dead. I think it's just not my style of game. Also, I don't really like Westerns. So like it really just wasn't for me. So I fear GTA 6 will be like Alan Woke 2. I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. You will see references. But then again, like I said, GTA 5 was the same way. There will be references to our world, and it'll be a satirical caricature of the right and the left. But that's what they do. So I wouldn't be surprised by that. I don't think it's going to be woke. Dude, I'd love to play GTA with a female lead. Yeah, I don't mind it. There are a couple from what it seems. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. So DSP doesn't like GTA. DSP doesn't like anything other than DSP, okay? And actually, let's be fair. DSP doesn't like himself either. This is nothing new. Oh man. But yeah, GTA 6. I'm not overhyped on it like everyone else is. But I'm also not vehemently, or however you pronounce that word, like hating it. It's like, we'll see. I'm more excited. I am more excited about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. And this actually ties into the question you just asked me. I got to play the alpha for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and I cannot talk about it because I signed an NDA. I will say this. I enjoyed myself, and I will be pre-ordering it. It was a lot of fun. And that's all I'll say about it. DSP likes WWE games. Oh, there's a video of him really liking himself. Oh, God. Oh, God. Was Underrings, since we need to hop on again? Yes. Also, that looks good. Just concerned with the live service stuff. I don't know how the live service stuff is gonna connect to the game as far as like how they're gonna do it. But watch your words. I'm trying to think of what I can say. My interest is more in the story. It is no secret that Rocksteady does a really good job with story. And when it comes to DC characters, I loves me a good story, especially since superhero movies are an absolute shit show now. And I'm reverting back to comics. If I can get something that's comparable to a movie in a video game with comic book level storytelling, I'm in. And what I can say is, from what I've played, the caliber of storytelling, if not better than the Arkham series. That's what I can say. So get me on it in NDA. No, stop being bad. Astro, what is your favorite MLB team if you have one? I do not have one because I'm in North Carolina. North Carolina does not have a Major League Baseball team. So I do not have a favorite MLB team. On top of that, I'm not a huge fan of baseball. It's just not my thing. I watch just about anything else, but I don't watch baseball. I can't do it. I don't know why. The story is what I'm most excited about. Well, if that's the case, then you're in for a treat because it was from what I played, it was fun. So, with that out of the way, talking about the numbers, we're gonna get into comic book releases. All right. Now I get it. A lot of new comic books, as my man said earlier in this video, they ain't what they used to be, but I'm still collecting Batman. I'm still getting those. I need to catch up on it because obviously I'm reading back issues. I need to switch gears to reading more modern stuff. But we're just gonna kind of go through and see, what's coming out soon for comics. Same, Georgia doesn't have an MLB team either. Do they not have the Braves anymore? I thought it was the Atlanta Braves. Am I wrong? I don't know. Anyway, comic books. Detective Comics number 1079 is coming out on the 12th. We got some Moon Knight, some Miles Morales, Action Comics, Batman and Robin, Green Lantern number 6, World's Finest Teen Titans, Superman Lost. We got Batman Gargoyle of Gotham. I don't like the art style on this, if I'm being honest. Like, it just doesn't do it for me. Radiant Black, I need to catch up on. That's Kyle Higgins stuff, and Kyle Higgins did Power Rangers. So, let's see. Oh, they're doing more Marvel Zombies, but in black, white, and blood. Okay. Oh, there's Batman and Santa Claus Silent Night. No. Let me just look at it. I'm going to check that out. And I kind of dig that with the Green Arrow. That looks sick. I kind of dig that. The Invincible Iron Man. We got King Spawn number 28. I still have number 1. We got a reprint of Silent Night number 1. That's kind of cool. I kind of like it. It's kind of nice. Let's see what else we have. X-Men 29. Oh, Transformers. I actually did see one of these covers. Like, look at that, man. That's what I'm talking about. That looks sick. Yo. I may have to start reading some Transformers, man. It looks so fucking cool. I gotta check that out. Let's see. What else do we have coming out that piques my interest? Rangers Academy. I gotta read that, but I'm telling you right now, just by looking at it, it's giving me Gotham Knight vibes. Or no, not Gotham Knight, Gotham High. It was like some kids that went to a high school in Gotham. It had nothing to do with Batman at all, and it was just really soft. I don't know how I feel about it. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Oh yeah, Alpha Core 1. I don't know. I may be out on Ripperverse, guys. I can't be shelling out the money, man. $28. It's better than it was when it comes to price point. I can't keep cranking that out and being let down. Sorry. So yeah, I mean that's about it. Creep Show Holiday. I'll have to check that out. I've been kind of eyeing out Creep Show. I may take a look at that. And I mean everything else doesn't really interest me all that much. Oh, I will say this. I did pick up something kind of interesting. There is a new publishing company called Distillery, and it's ran by some really big name comic book creators, one of them being Scott Snyder, who did Batman for a while. They got some really interesting stories, so I'm going to be checking out some of that. I don't know why that didn't pop up here. Let me see. I think I spelled that wrong. It's DSTLRY. There it is. Yeah, this is what I got. The Devil's Cut. And I got this cover. It's pretty sick. And it's $10. This kickoff issue will never be reprinted in this format again. Okay. Gold foil variant. Ooh. Yeah, I'd say check them out. And you got some decent names in here. James Tynion, if I remember correctly, wrote for Batman and Robin, if I'm correct. Jock does some really good work. Azzarello, that name sounds familiar. I don't remember why. But yeah, I mean, there's some good names here. So I'd say check them out, see what they're about. Let's see. Sorry, I'm a Cubs fan. You guys knocked us out in the playoffs. Or should I say the playoff hunt? I don't read Rangers. I get mine. I got the free one. It's garbage. Oh, yeah. So tell me, Ronan, was I right? Is it like kids, like teenage kids in some sort of academy, just kind of hanging out, dealing with daily life and things like that? I will say this though, in this comic right here, the Devil's Cut, dude, there was one where this chick was like an assassin, and like she was really fucking brutal, and she had a grenade for a high heel. Like it was nuts. Like she had like some high heels on, she took it off and like pulled a little pin, yeeted it, and it blew up a whole fucking island. It was crazy. Check out Distillery, the Devil's Cut. It's kind of cool. This is kind of a cool read. It's a kind of like a Love, Death, and Robots sort of thing. Each story's really short. It just gives you kind of a sampler of each author and stuff. So yeah. But yeah, Ronan, definitely let me know what's up with the Rangers Academy. And for movies, you don't need to know my location. What have we got coming out? They're putting Die Hard back in theaters? Hell yeah. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies. The Perfect Christmas 3. Yo, there's like nothing new. What is this, just next week? This is all coming soon. Seriously? Is this it? Is this it for the rest of the year? Oh, that's right. Wonka. We're supposed to be getting Wonka in like a week. Oh, and Aquaman. I made a reference to Aquaman earlier and then completely forgot that it was coming out. So go see Die Hard, everyone. Yeah, go see Die Hard. Ferrari. I actually do want to check out Ferrari. Dude, Adam Driver's actually a really good actor. And I like cars, so I'll have to check that out. Let's see. Oh, that's right. They're doing a sequel to Mean Girls, or it might be like a reboot. Yo, I'm just going to tell you this right now. Mean Girls is one of the greatest movies of all time. One of the greatest movies of all time. I'm just letting y'all know. We got Madam Web. Oh, God, that looked so bad. Dune Part 2 is coming out in March, supposedly. When's Craven coming out? Wasn't that supposed to be a thing? Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. They're still making Planet of the Apes movies? Really? And Craven's coming out in August. And then Superman Legacy's coming out in 2025. So, yeah. Die Hard's the best movie that's going to come out between now and the end of the year. So go see Die Hard. Yeah, that's kind of it. That's all there is to it. Damn, we actually breezed through this episode. I thought it was going to take me a lot longer. I got like hour and 20 is not bad, I guess. This is kind of the way I'm gonna be running things from here on out. Sort of chill, but sort of formatted. So if you like this format, please let me know. If you absolutely despise this format, also let me know. I'm totally fine with constructive criticism. Yeah, I don't know what else to really discuss, guys. I think that's going to be it for me today. I hope you guys liked the video, the episode today. If you did, please feel free to drop a like down below. And if you aren't subbed to the channel, I would also appreciate sub. I will probably be on here tomorrow. Not doing AstroCast. I'll probably be playing more Gotham Knights, unfortunately. So, yeah. That's what happens when you don't have a panel. I know, but this is the choice I've made. So, didn't invite to too much to think. I'll have to do that some other time, man. I'm still trying to get a feel for things. That's the thing, is a lot of you guys like really want to get on and talk with me, which makes me feel really good. That makes me happy to hear that you guys actually want to like sit and talk with me. But I'm still trying to kind of figure things out on my own. I may just have to do a Freestyle Friday at this point, right? Am I gonna have to do a Freestyle Friday this Friday? Is that what's gonna need to happen? You know what? Fuck it. Freestyle Friday this Friday. Be there, be square. You know. We'll make it happen. I'll do a Gotham Knight stream tomorrow, and I'll do a Freestyle Friday on Friday night. You tell me what time you guys generally wanna party it up, and I'll make it happen. We shooting for like a 6 or a 7. Is that what we're shooting for? Is that a good time for everybody? 6 p.m., 7 p.m. EST, something like that. Nah, let's go. Extra content. Oh man. Yeah, let's just do a Freestyle Friday at this point, man. It's been too long. I feel like I'm in solitary confinement. I'm talking to the walls. I don't have anyone to interact with. Yeah, we'll do like a Freestyle Friday. I think that'll be good. I haven't done one of those in a long time. I'm there. My D? What? I will say this though, I am gonna field who gets to go on Freestyle Fridays, because I personally, thank God, have not had a horrific interaction on an open mic, but many of my cohorts have, and it makes me very scared. I don't want to have any of that shit happen on my stream, because I'd probably have a fucking meltdown. You have to see the ugly side of me. I do have one. It takes a lot to get me there, but I do have one. So, yeah, guys, if there's no other topics you wanted me to discuss, or you want to discuss amongst yourselves, kind of, I'm talking Suicide Squad. Look, man, I'll just have you on, and if you say stuff, you say stuff. But if Papa Warner Brothers comes around with a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire to my nuts, then I'm gonna have to get rid of the video. I'm just letting you know. I don't want them to beat the shit out of me. Suicide Squad Isekai. Did you watch it? Is it out yet? Because I have opinions on American industries or American companies encroaching on Japanese studios and appropriating the way they do things. Comes across as cheap and not creative. Not on the part of the studio that actually makes it, but on the part of the company that's like, hey, we don't know how to make stuff, so here. With Az on vacation from F&T, maybe shoot him an invite for Friday. If he's not going to be on F&T, I highly doubt he's going to be on a Freestyle Friday. I highly doubt it. I'm just letting you know. They had a new trailer that looks good. Got to see a lot more of the core cast. Oh. Well, I trust your opinion on that because I have opinions on that whole. It's a Spider-Man manga. No, Spider-Man's not a manga. Yes, there's like Japanese Spider-Man from what, like the 60s, but nah. Yeah. I don't like it. Change is difficult. I don't like it. But anyway, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap this up here. Again, if you like the vid, please drop a like. If you aren't sub, please consider subscribing. I will be here tomorrow for more of Gotham Knights playthrough, and I guess I'll see you guys on Friday for a Freestyle Friday for the first time in a while. So we will see you then. All right. My opinions are bad. They're not bad. They're different. Stop it. Okay. With that, I'm done. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Later.